What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Jason from the Lock Talk, and we're back for another NBA Game Day breakdown on January 15th, 2025. Hey man, it's been an amazing start to 2025, but hey, yesterday I had my first losing day, but it was a slightly losing day. It was down around half a unit. Can't be too upset. I had a 14-day winning streak. Didn't have a losing day in 2025. The best thing about this is that it takes a lot of pressure off me, but hey, time to start a new streak. In terms of the free plays from yesterday, I actually think out of the 12 games, we went 7 for 5. Those free plays or those breakdowns actually did very, very well as well. So guys, if you want to see me keep on coming up here and dropping these plays, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment for the YouTube algorithm. It really does help me push this video out to more people. And guys, if you guys did want to get in for a week free in my premium, so you could join me just like all my other guys have been crushing in premium, just go to that pinned comment down below. I put some links and codes that you can use on our favorite partner apps, Novig and VividPicks. 2 different apps available in almost every state for Novig in 42 states, and VividPicks very similar to PrizePicks, but they're giving one of the biggest promos. And these promos, guys, for both of these apps and almost every app you see, will get worse and worse. You've already seen it from guys like Sleeper, PrizePicks, Underdog. The promos keep on getting worse and worse. I really urge you to get these promos while they're good, because they're not going to get any better. Trust me on that. All right, guys, we have about, I think, 5 games on the board today. A much quicker video, so let me go break them down. But again, please, if you want to join us in premium, I will put something down in that description and in that pinned comment so you can come join us and join the family, man. First game I do see on the board today for the first game is the Phoenix Suns against the Washington Wizards. And hey man, look, Washington Wizards, Phoenix Suns, not 2 teams that I really love, but look, the Phoenix Suns, they've been kind of putting it together. They had a good win they had a loss against the Atlanta Hawks 2 days ago, and they have not been doing good. They haven't really been beating too many good teams. They did beat the Hornets, the Utah Jazz. They beat the Hawks the game before that, but nonetheless, their strength of the schedule has, in my opinion, been fairly weak. But obviously, on the Washington side, how have they been doing? They have not been doing very well at all. They've not only been losing, they've not been covering any spreads at all. They got blown out by the Minnesota Timberwolves. They got blown out by the OKC. They got blown out by Chicago. The only game that they covered was against the Sixers, and I don't believe Embiid was playing in that game, or even Paul George might not even been playing, or Maxey. So they have not been playing well at all. Just to go even further back, they got blown out by the Rockets, and they got blown out by the Pelicans twice. Again, man, even if you're trying to hunt for value with this Washington Wizards team, I'm not really sure if I want to be on that side. The tough game to call, in my opinion. Obviously, Phoenix Suns, they may not have Nurkic or Beal today. And then on the Washington side, it looks like everyone is somewhat healthy. Brogdon's still out. Martin Bagley's still out. Deke Bay is also out. In this game, at 10.5 point spread, man, I'm not really sure. The best way to have been betting Washington has been early, first quarter, first half. But as I said in previous videos, the Suns are also very good in that spot. So I will probably avoid this game if I was to bet the whole game. Not that it's not my favorite bet on the board, but if I'm forced to bet, again, if I'm forced to bet, I'm doing this for the video's sake, I would probably roll with the Phoenix Suns. I know a lot of people are probably going to say there's value with Washington, but there is no way I really want to trust them. Even with this amount of points, they've shown not to be trustworthy on that. But to even the Suns right, I'm not super comfortable laying that many points, but only if I could get maybe early. So if you do first half, maybe you get -5.5. First quarter, maybe you get like 3.5, 4.5, 3.5. Something to consider, guys. All right, let's talk about the next game on the board. The next game on the board I do see is the Indiana Pacers against the Detroit Pistons. 2 of my favorite recent teams, man. Detroit, you obviously know why. I mean, Cade Cunningham's been one of my guys I've been betting on the most so far this season. And the Indiana Pacers have been red hot, man. 22-19. Pistons in their own right, man. They are a wild card playoff contending team, bro. They could definitely make the playoffs, in my opinion. So let's take a look at, I guess, how they've been doing. Pistons been doing very well in the last few games. They pushed against the Warriors, covered and beat the Toronto Raptors, covered and beat the New York Knicks. Even before that, beat the Brooklyn Nets, beat Portland, but did not cover that game. And then they did face some other good teams. They beat Minnesota outright and covered the spread, and then they beat Charlotte and Orlando outright, but they did not cover against Charlotte. On the Indiana side, they've been red hot. The only game that they've lost as of late was the rematch against Cleveland. They lost by 10 points. The spread was 8. They did not have Halliburton. And the big thing on this game is that Halliburton might be playing today. So if Halliburton plays, I think that's a huge one. Nesmith, he's also 50-50. In terms of the starting lineup, as of right now, early in the morning, Nembhard is the starting point guard. So I guess I'm going to assume that I think Halliburton might play today. If he does play, man, this is a tough game, bro. It's a very, very tough game. Detroit has been kind of decent everywhere, bro. Very much different from last year. Their defense, the one place that they're the weakest at is definitely that three-point line. And the Pacers, they don't really shoot a lot of threes, even though they've been fairly effective. They really do attack the basket, and that's exactly what Detroit prevents and has been very effective against. So I don't really know, I guess, what it will happen for the Pacers side, but if they're able to shoot the threes, maybe they change the game up, they definitely can exploit this Detroit defense. And on the other side, Detroit is pretty much even everywhere in terms of where the Pacers are the weakest. It's that mid-range, and I mean, Detroit, they're pretty much even killed. If anything, the range that they're probably the least frequent in is that mid-range. So this game might be maybe a lower scoring game, just given the defensive matchups. But I think teams will obviously make adjustments, and both teams played at a pretty fast pace, especially the Pacers. They're top 10 in pace. So in this game, I would honestly lean with the Pacers. I think the Pacers are the better team. I think they're going to have more options. It's a low spread. They're actually dogs in the spot. But I think it's because Halliburton might not play. Actually, looking at this a little further, I don't think he's going to play. So tough spot, man. But I do think the Pacers can be competitive. I think they could win even without Halliburton. There were some points in that Cleveland game where they could have probably won that game, but Detroit's not that same level as Cleveland, man. So in this game, I would lean with the Pacers, but again, it's not my favorite bet on the board. Even the money and the bets are pretty much even on both sides, so I really see arguments for both teams. But all right, guys, let's talk about the next game, and this game is probably the game of the day, probably the best game of the day. I did a single video about this a few days ago or last week when I was in Miami. The Cleveland Cavaliers against the Oklahoma City Thunder, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. This is by far the best game on the board. This is the rematch. OKC lost outright and did not cover against the Cleveland Cavaliers, even as dogs. Now they're back at home, -2 favorites against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And look, man, my analysis is not that much different. Even more, I would say that this is even a tougher matchup for OKC because I see that Hartenstein is out. Hartenstein is not playing. And they're going to have Jalen Williams with the Y. He's going to be starting at center. And, dude, he's not big enough to play against this Cleveland team. I think you did see the struggles with OKC playing Cleveland with the lack of size. And without no Holmgren or Hartenstein, it may be tough for them to get rebounds, man. And I have one shot at this, and I think we're going to see something similar to last game. It was a different situational spot, too. I mean, they're playing at home. OKC is much, much better at home than on the road, even though they've been covering almost every single game. That has not really mattered whether they're at home or away. But for the most part, they have been historically one of the better home teams in the NBA. They're 14-6 so far this season. Cleveland Cavaliers, they're actually better on the road, but they're just as good as home. So, I mean, covering-wise and a trend like that, it hasn't really mattered. Again, I did a video breaking this matchup down. I think Cleveland can win again outright. They're dogs actually in this spot. Is there like a revenge factor for the Thunder? Yes, but I just don't think especially without Hartenstein, I think they may have some trouble with the size and the physicality and the offensive pressure that Cleveland brings. OKC's excellent defense, but I think without the size, they may have some problems. All right, guys, last 2 games on the board, man. And before I go off, man, please, if you've been enjoying this type of content, you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. And guys, leave a comment. You want to see some different type of videos? I will be posting some vlogs, some more educational content, things like that. But in terms of the pick type videos, do you want to see more game breakdowns or do you want to see some props? Just let me know. All right, second to last game, the Los Angeles Clippers against the Portland Trailblazers. No Kawhi Leonard on the Clippers side. Clippers on a back-to-back with some travel. Clippers are 6.5-point favorites. I mean, look, I'm not going to say too much. I think the Clippers should probably win this game. I think they're the better team everywhere. Every dollar is on the Clippers in terms of where the money and the public betting, the spread betting has been. But I think maybe the better side is to bet the under. I think the Clippers have really good defense. Portland Trailblazers, their defense is not good, but they do play at a decently slow pace, similar to the Clippers. I don't know. Also, I'll say this: the Portland Trailblazers have played a very, very tough schedule. Even though their defense is terrible, their offense is also not good. So maybe Clippers with the travel, a little bit more tired. They have excellent defense. I think they'll be able to stop Portland in a lot of things they do. 221 over under. But if I had to pick a side, I'd say Clippers, but total, I would say maybe under. It's not a game I'm not really looking to bet though, or really focusing on, to be honest. Maybe for props, but not really for like a game side or a total, but that's why I would lean. All right, guys, you guys been with me to the very end. Again, if you guys do want the best sign-up bonuses, so you guys get some free money, if you guys are going to deposit on your sportsbook to go far off this week, today, this weekend, go to that pinned comment or description down below. There are some new books that you guys can sign up on to get better lines, deposit bonuses. These are ways that you can definitely beat the books without even making a bet. You could double your bankroll immediately just by getting some type of deposit bonus or promotion. And I'd say if you're going to use anyone's money, use their money, not yours, to go make some moolah. All right? But here, let's talk about the last game on the board. The Houston Rockets against the Sacramento Kings. And man, Kings, bro. I mean, I said the Houston Rockets last night that they're going to beat the Nuggets. I did not think Jokic was going to be out. But now they're on a back-to-back. After coming back from Denver, always a tough spot for any sport. I said the same thing in football and baseball. That thin air, dropping down, going to a new environment is always tough. So we'll see how they do, man. I mean, the Kings just got their butts blown out. Pause. By the Bucks. We had the Bucks is a premium play the other night. Oh, man, I mean, I'll say this. I think Houston's probably the better team, but I think the situation might be tough for them. The Kings are getting back Malik Monk, so that's also very good. Kings want to roll. I don't know if it's because De'Aaron Fox came back that maybe not playing as well, but when they weren't playing with him and when they fired Mike Brown, they actually went on an insane run. But in this situational spot, I do like this game for props, but in terms of the spot, I think this is a King spot all the way. Houston Rockets, I mean, they didn't play all their stars for that long because they blew out the Nuggets, so they didn't play all the fourth quarter, so maybe the rest factor isn't that big of a problem. They are a young team, so that's something to consider as well. But I think if the Kings do get back Malik Monk, their offensive prowess will be back. Again, the matchup, I think, is in favor for the Rockets, so I think Rockets are better on the defensive side. I mean, you take a look at the Kings, right? The Kings, they're really good at attacking the basket. And in terms of where the Rockets are good at, that's what they want you to do, man. They want you to attack the basket. They prevent you from shooting threes, and they let you attack the basket because they're one of the best defenses in the league in doing that. Kings, they're not good at all in defending the three, but they want you to, but they prevent you from attacking the basket. What do the Rockets want to do? They want to go attack the basket. They don't shoot as many threes. So I don't know, man. This game could be an under type game, but I do think that the Kings can be effective in this spot, even though they're 4-point favorites. I'll take the Kings in this game, but I'll probably focus on props in this game if I'm honest. But guys, thank you so much for watching with me to the very end. If you guys do want to tap in with Premium so you guys can win with us and our community, just go to that pinned comment or description, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.